Hello guys, welcome to Mr. Top 10 YouTube channel. This time we're talking about top 10 absurd robots that scientists have actually built. Across the world, researchers are grinding away building up a wide range of stunning apparatus and unusual AI. Over the most recent couple of years alone, roboticists have disclosed a cheeky android, a shape-moving submarine, and a gadget that permits fish and honeybees to address one another. From Nestle machines to worm-fueled Lego, here are 10 of the most abnormal robots ever constructed. Number 10. Skybot F-850 is an android space traveler. A completely mechanized machine planned by the Russian Space Organization for life on board the International Space Station, ISS. Engineers went through 5 years creating and getting ready Skybot for the test of going into space. The 6-foot android is worked from tough materials to endure the impact into zero gravity, and is uncommonly modified to prevent it from accidentally harming the Space Center. In summer 2019. The automated cosmonaut went through about 14 days chipping away at board the ISS as a social friend to the human team. During its time in Circle, Skybot had the option to speak with its kindred space travelers, noting their inquiries and keeping them interested with the odd joke. The android was even ready to fly itself to the space station, assuming responsibility for a Soyuz rocket and observing its conditions as they entered zero gravity. As Alexander Bloshenko, leader overseer of the Russian Space Office, told correspondents, "People in the future of such robots will settle undertakings that are conceivably of extraordinary danger for people, for example, extravehicular exercises and telemetry procedure on close planetary system bodies." Number 9. In our cutting-edge age, when everybody is by all accounts moving at 100 miles per second, forlornness can be a significant issue. For the individuals who battle with friendship, Japanese startup GrooveX has planned Lovert, a little fuzzy robot who solaces individuals needing a friend. Lovert is an amicable machine, a slight buddy that rapidly warms to its proprietor. For those needing a decent embrace, its fluffy skin is intended to be warm and simple to snuggle, and the robot is consistently glad for some nearby close-to-home contact. After some time, Lovert's passionate bond is said to develop further as it begins to gain proficiency with its proprietor's face and comes to meet them when they get back home. Whether it is beneficial to attempt to fix forlornness with fake fellowship rather than human association is a fascinating inquiry. Be that as it may, whatever your assessment, Lovert has been selling in Japan for longer than a year at this point. What's more, engineers state that, with future venture, it may before long be headed to the US also. Envision outlining the whole human mind, taking the entirety of the beats and electrical signs, and afterward transferring them into a machine. You could get godlike, in principle, living always as a computerized being. On the off chance that seems like a moral entanglement, at that point you will be satisfied to hear that researchers are far from accomplishing whatever refined. In any case, they have figured out how to pull off a comparable accomplishment utilizing a little worm and some Lego. In 2014, neuromechanical scientists outlined the mind of a little ringworm. Every one of the 302 neurons, and transformed it into an advanced recreation. Reenacting a whole mind is striking in itself, yet the researchers chose to take care of their virtual cerebrum into a Lego robot. The Lego bot was not really modern, it had a sound sensor for a nose and 2 engines to go about as its engine cortex. In any case, with a bit of tweaking, the virtual worm cerebrum had the option to control the robot, driving it around a test station and preventing it from slamming into the walls. Eventually the specialists would like to have the option to reproduce the mind as well as a whole worm, fabricating the world's first computerized living thing. In the Rwandan capital Kigali, robots are driving the battle against COVID. The utilization of automated professionals at treatment focuses in Gega and Kanyinyu implies staff invest less energy around coronavirus-positive patients, and are thusly more averse to get the infection themselves. The mass breakout of COVID has constrained medical services specialists wherever to consider some fresh possibilities for approaches to handle the pandemic. planned by robots, the 5 robots can monitor patients' indispensable signs, pass on video messages and write individuals for not wearing their veils appropriately. One of the androids is right now positioned at Kigali International Airport screening up to 150 individuals every moment. The Transformers were one of the most popular franchises of the 1980s, and one of the most terrible film series of the 2000s. Transformers, for anyone who is not aware, are autonomous robots that can transform themselves into motor vehicles. These shape-shifting wonders captured the imaginations of children over the decades, but they always seemed like a remarkable work of fiction, something that could never be created for real. Until recently, that is. Now scientists at Houston Mechatronics Incorporated have developed a real-life transformer, a semi-humanoid robot that can convert itself into a submarine. They named it Aquanaut. The creators wanted to build a machine that combined the freedom of a long-distance underwater vehicle with the precision of a remotely operated bot. Built on a $23 million budget, Aquanaut is mainly designed for use on deep-sea oil and gas pipelines. The robot begins its descent in streamlined submarine mode, diving steadily through the water until it finds its target. After that, it begins its transformation. The top of the hull lifts up, and a head and 2 long arms are unfurled for work on the pipeline. As well as its metamorphic abilities, Aquanaut is carrying a range of sophisticated equipment. Its head has been fitted with a 3D sensor, stereo cameras, and a sonar system.
It seems like something out of messy science fiction thriller, an automated fish that sudden spikes in demand for the intensity of blood. Yet, in all actuality, a motorized fish is no lowlife. Indeed, it could end up being the eventual fate of energy-proficient robotics. Energy stockpiling is one of the principal restrictions in automated plan. Most gadgets either run out of intensity rapidly or carry around substantial batteries which moderate them down. Interestingly, the robot fish runs on a water-driven liquid, like blood inside a genuine fish, and gets enough capacity to swim upstream for 36 hours. Speed, nonetheless, isn't the robot's solid point. It walks along at a simple 1.5 body lengths per minute. Nonetheless, the mechanical fish is an amazing accomplishment of designing. As Professor Rob Shepard, one of the vital engineers at Cornell University, told columnists, we need to take the same number of parts in a robot and transform them into the energy framework. On the off chance that you have water-powered fluids in your robot effectively, at that point you can take advantage of enormous stores of energy and give robots expanded opportunity to work independently. In 2019, scientists at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology Lausanne built a machine that allows fish and bees to talk to each other. The researchers created a robot translator that can send messages back and forth between a group of zebrafish and a swarm of honeybees. To really challenge themselves, the scientists decided to conduct their experiment from different countries. The fish were at one location, Switzerland. The bees were miles away in neighboring Austria. The robot translator issued commands to each species, then translated their responses into signals for the other group. So the fish might be shown a color or tail movement, which influenced the direction of their swimming. This would then be translated into a vibration or a change in temperature, which caused the bees to move to a different area. The bee's motion would then be translated into a signal for the fish, and so forth. To start with, the experiment was absolute bedlam, but after 25 minutes of confusion the animals began to respond to the robotic stimuli. Although this might sound like an absurd experiment, communicating with animals has many real-world applications, like stopping birds from flying over airports or warning bees about pesticides on plants. Inclining to cook is a troublesome undertaking. To prepare as an expert cook takes long periods of study at culinary school and a colossal commitment to learning the art. Be that as it may, imagine a scenario where there were a simpler way. Imagine a scenario in which, rather than going through years preparing, you could request that a robot encourage itself to cook and afterward have it make a supper for you. Researchers at the University of Maryland are chipping away at precisely that. In contrast to most machines, the robot, called Julia, has no requirement for bit-by-bit directions. Rather, she has instructed herself to cook by watching recordings on YouTube and replicating what she sees. Right now, Julia is not even close to Michelin star level. Her culinary abilities are restricted to a couple of fundamental exercises. Yet, even that is an accomplishment. Assignments that may appear to be basic for you or me, such as setting out a glass of water, are entirely trying for a robot. In 2019, China started utilizing robots to keep control of its streets. The Handan Public Security Bureau presently utilizes 3 styles of robot that assist their current officials with keeping everything under control. The 3 robots are comparable in plan, however they each complete altogether different capacities. One sort, the Street Watch robot, searches out and reports any criminal conduct on the streets. Its creators have even given it a uniform and cap to look more like a human official. Another, the mishap portioning robot, educates close-by drivers that the police are managing an episode. The third kind is the exhortation traffic robot, which coordinates drivers at vehicle aboard stations, while additionally watching out for security hazards. Individuals in China are no aliens to robot cops. In 2016, specialists began to utilize a security robot in Shenzhen Airport, and in 2017 an epidural sheriff was presented in Hainan. Fans of Douglas Adams will no doubt be familiar with Marvin the Paranoid Android, the depressed if slightly conceited robot from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But, instead of a paranoid android, how about a sassy one? A robot that rolls its eyes from time to time and fires off acerbic comments. Well, scientists from Augsburg University have created just that, after programming one of their latest robots with a sense of irony. The fittingly named Irony Man is designed to be less formal and more relatable than a typical AI. Unlike most talking machines, which speak in flat monotonous voices, Irony Man is able to reflect real patterns of human speech. So if someone were to say that traffic is frustrating, Irony Man would retort, "I love being stuck here," with a sarcastic emphasis on the word love.